Hello and welcome. The introduction was rather long, but that was necessary. It was taken from the Zen of Python. More about that later. Important, do read the channel description and the notes associated with the videos to understand which software I am using and which version I am using. Anyway, without much ado, let's go to programming. We are programmers, right? So we have nothing to lose except that one little bug. Okay, so here we are with our Jupyter notebook open before us, and I am unwilling to break the tradition. So here goes our first code. So once you are here, just click run and we get the output. Now note, unlike C++, we do not have any compiled code here because Python is an interpreted language. So you do not get the executable in hand. Now, author of Pascal, Nicholas Wirth, said algorithm plus data equal to program. So if we consider data to be the value, they will be stored as variable. So here is our first variable, x equal to 2. Okay. Now again here, note we are not declaring the data type of the variable, but does that mean there is no type in Python, unlike other languages like C++? Well, there certainly is, but more on that later. And now we print. Get the output. Interesting thing is when x is in quotes, it is printed literally, whereas outside the quote we get the value. So the point is variables are not interpreted, that is Python will not translate them to values when they are inside the quote. Next is basic data type. Now what is it? Remember set in mathematics, I think class 9 or 10, set of integers, set of reals, etc. Here we have something similar and we call them types in programming. So when you write variable equal to value, for example, in previous case you wrote x equal to 2, the value will belong to one such set. Rather, in programming parlance, the value will have a type. There are many data types in Python, but the most fundamentals are integer, floating points, that is the set of reals, and of course the strings. Let's see them one by one. So here a is created as an integer and b is a float, that is belongs to the set of real numbers. In Python, default representation of number is float. So if you say c equal to 5 by 2 and then write print c is c, notice over here it will behave as a float, though the division looks to be an integer division. We get a floating number point as an output, rather floating point number. Now for strings, anything you enclose in quotes is a string. We have seen that in our first program. Now Python does not distinguish between single and double quotes. That is, note the outputs, they are same. Then the question arises, why have both? That is for unmatched quotes. Okay, now what do we mean by unmatched quotes? Consider the following lines. Notice in the first case there was a single inverted comma, there is rather an apostrophe contained in the string. So we enclose the entire string in double quotes. And in the second case, it is just the opposite. It contains a double quote. There is hello is in double quote. So we contain the entire string in a single quote. Alright? Now, what if we need both? Well, use triple quote. And here we are. As you can see, both the quotes, that is single as well as double quotes, they are intact. So, in case you want both, just use triple quotes. As you might have guessed by now, there are no key for that. So, just press the quote key thrice. Single or double, really doesn't matter. Now, in most programming language, there is something called escape sequence, and Python is no exception. Okay, what exactly is it? Let's see. Notice the slash n between hello and world. Look at the effect. Slash n has vanished. Instead, what we get is a line. There is hello in one line and world in another line. That is as if someone has pressed an enter after hello. That is, someone has given a new line. Now, that is because Python will interpret slash n in a string to be a placeholder for new line. Similarly, there is slash t, slash r, etc. You can consult Python documentation to know more about this. But the question is, what if we actually want the slash n? Well, Python has a solution for that too. And a pretty straightforward one. Just put an r before the string. Such strings are also called raw strings. Notice the slash n remains intact. Slash n this time is not interpreted to be a new line. That's all about strings, at least for now. We will have a completely separate tutorial on this topic later, after a few more days. Okay? Two more things before we stop. First is comment, which is typically used to explain the meaning of a code written in plain English. Comment should start with a hash symbol and go till end of line. There are no multi-line comments. As an example, okay, so here you have, notice this part does not give any error. Alright, that is because anything after hash will be ignored by the Python interpreter. Alright, Python actually has an internal compiler to check for syntax error, but we typically do not take the compiled code because Python is considered to be an interpreted language, although there are ways to get an executable out of a Python script. Anyway, we'll come to the thing when the time comes. That is, cross the bridge when time comes. Second, there are certain words that you cannot use as variable names. They are language reserves, commonly known as keywords. To get a list, just write help keywords. So you do not need to remember the name of all these guys. Just write help keywords whenever in doubt. It will give you the list of keywords. Piece of warning, You cannot use them as variable name. If you do that, Python will throw an error. So don't do that. Okay, that's all for now. So long.